Hello and welcome back to another Final Fantasy 15 talk. So today we're doing in-depth versions of Final Fantasy 15. So we had our early version, linked down below, of just a quick recap of what we think about the game. Now we're going to go a little bit more in-depth about it. So we're still loving the game because it's only been literally like 2 minutes since we stopped playing the other one. So
we hate it.
So let's talk about story.
Oh, no.
God damn it, what the hell?
No, you can. We're still going.
All right, okay.
I can hard cut that one out. So story-wise, it's simple. So we're not going to spoil anything too.
Yeah, no spoilers.
We're going to go no spoilers again. But the thing, okay, so there's a one point, I think it's in either chapter 1 or 2, that you go to bed and the story starts just happening. Mm-hmm. And there's no like back in Insomnia or back in this town. It just shit starts happening. You're like, am I dreaming this right now? Or so it seems a little disjointed at times, but I got the feel of the story really quickly. Yeah. But I just wish, because in the beginning of each chapter they have like a nice black screen and they title the chapters like they could have easily done that.
Yeah.
In this, because I know there's one point where you sleep and it's like an hour later. I was like, why didn't you do that for the story? So just to get me, because at first the first couple scenes I was just questioning what was going on. If I had just a little tiny thing in the beginning, I'd be like, okay, I get this. But I like the story. It seems really simple, and that's what I think I like about it.
Yeah, you actually used the perfect word. That was what I was going to say. Is disjointed is kind of how I initially am feeling about the story. Again, it is simple. It's a simple concept. You know, you're obviously going to basically get married.
That's not a spoiler. That happens in the first 2 minutes.
That's whatever, and that's kind of what it's been since they've shown the trailers. Leaving everything else aside, it does feel like at times, and part of it is the open world nature of it, where it's like, you know, here let's say, you know, plot B happens. It's pretty big, and then you're gonna be like, okay, but I want to go fishing, and so, you know, so true. And that's why I tend to give open world games, like, you know, people talk about like, oh, it's such a terrible story. Like, you got to kind of give the writers the benefit of the doubt. It's hard to push a narrative when you have an open world because there's so much other stuff I want to do. But yeah, I mean, overall, again, it's not the atypical Final Fantasy, but it has a lot of the Final Fantasy parts to it. And again, we're still only on chapter 3, so.
Yeah. I have no idea how many chapters are.
I don't either.
Yeah, I just like it because it's pushing the Fight Club effect, where I won't spoil anything, but at the beginning of the game, that shows what I think is close to the end of the game. I could be wrong, but I like how they have that. They have plant that seed in your mind, like, oh, something's
going down.
Yeah. So after the video, I have to ask you guys something.
And then I know the characters seem different and varied, like even outside of the core 4 that you're with. I like the other characters around you.
They have the 4 archetypes of characters, really.
Yeah, and then the enemy characters seem to be pretty cool too. I don't know. I like the designs. Yeah. That's the one thing I do. I actually like the design of the characters in this game. I know that was what a lot of people harped on in the beginning of this game.
Yeah, I'm actually, like, again, you know, like we talked about in the other video, I was initially worried about, you know, a couple of the characters. Prompto being one of them. He's actually turned out to be a character that he actually has one of my favorite things that he does, and that is the picture taking. In the voice acting itself, like, I was a little nervous early on about just kind of how people were hitting certain notes and, like, you know, trying to have emphasis on certain stuff. There was a particular scene that happened in, I think it was chapter 2, that kind of helped me, especially really like the Noctis character. I thought his voice actor really stepped up.
And I was a fan of the previous voice actor.
Yeah.
I liked his dark and brooding thing, but I don't think it fits with this whole...
Yeah.
I think that's why they changed it. It doesn't fit with the whole...
banter.
But in what I kind of got out of that, though, is based off of that scene that maybe later on we're going to see more of the, you know, maybe that side, possibly, I guess.
The darker side.
Darker side, so... Yeah, it's as far as like the characters go, I'm liking them all. You know, we do, me and Kevin, I think, have one gripe with a certain character. Her name is not the
She's
not
not part
characters.
of the group.
Yeah,
but
just the characters in general. Cindy.
Oh, Cindy. Over sexualized.
It's not even like I guess the only defense I'll say at it is they're not even hiding it. You know, like, for instance, like I was talking to you last night about how it's like, you know, if you go when you're at Hammerhead, which is kind of the first stop where, you know, all that stuff happens. If you go to fill up gas there,
it's terrible.
And it's again, it's so just the over sexualization of a female character is just ridiculous. Now, in defense of that, there are other female characters.
that are
like
very well portrayed. I've already seen,
but she's one. And it's just.
Yeah,
I
agree.
I don't.
Yeah,
they could get it.
And it's dumb because I was trying to make the comparison of Quiet and Cindy, but at least Quiet, there's a reason for why she looks like that.
Now, that's full of shit though.
Yeah,
too. I mean,
Well, she's full of photosynthesizers.
I know, but it's like why couldn't it have been a male character?
True.
yeah. And now, in defense, I can't see any scenario where this ever happens, but we're only in chapter 3. Maybe there's some ridiculous reason why she wears the clothes she does. I doubt it.
But then we gotta think of the same thing. Look at not Ignis. These other guys.
Gladio.
Gladio.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but you can change his clothing.
Yeah.
I know, but still, I mean, it's the same thing. Like, it's a double standard of everything.
It is a good point, but and maybe in fairness, then maybe. That makes it a little bit more okay. Like, hey, Gladios is doing this, so why can't there be that?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I know, I agree. True. It's a thing that probably doesn't need to be in there.
I mean, it gets hot working on cars. So.
Yeah,
that's true.
And it's the atypical JRPG kind of.
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah,
I agree. So, combat-wise, we talked about the combat, how it seems pretty simple, but there's enough there that is fun, and I think that's the main point about a combat system. It has to be fun, or else what's the point? I don't like, it's still a pet peeve, is the at the top of the screen, the red thing, how it keeps going.
Yeah,
I never liked that in the demos. I don't even know how you say it. Your enemies are getting closer, so it widens.
It's kind of just basically for a stealth game, when someone notices you, it's kind of that acknowledgement
yellow,
that's
but it's
happening.
always red, then it goes across. I don't know why. I just don't like the placement of that. That's very nitpicky because.
It does sometimes take you out of it because there are times where you're walking around in that game and you're like, my God, this looks beautiful. And, for people who are dissing graphics, it's not the, there are games that look better, but
this game looks great.
There's something about the character animations when they're just running around the way. There's some goofy stuff that happens sometimes, but there's some naturalness to it too that looks really good.
We're not talking about combat. We're going into
okay,
now.
Okay,
no, it's fine. No, we can keep going into it. I've noticed there's not a lot of pop-ins either.
If we're going off combat real quick, my favorite thing about this game is not the fucking swirl loading into combat from that all Final Fantasies do.
Oh, like the
or kind of the splash screen.
Yeah. I am so happy they don't do that.
Did 12 do it?
I don't think 12 did it.
I never played 12, so
yeah, I'm pretty sure 12. It was the characters, the creatures are out in the world. Okay, so but speaking of so I guess we will go back to that real quick with combat. The thing that's interesting to me is in Final Fantasy in general, one of the big things that have always existed is magic, and there's obviously they scaled back your magic a lot. Now, obviously, again, we're early on. There are 4 different types of magic. I'm assuming eventually there might be some mixing and matching that could happen. I don't know.
Unicast.
Well, yeah, but
when you do the potency and you do all 3 of them, so you cast all 3 magics at once.
Yeah, but it's still.
I've never tried that.
Yeah, it's still there's the 3 types of magic. So are there things like poison? Are there
Well, there's poison on weapons.
Meteor
there's poison on weapons.
Yes,
so I think that's how they're going to swing it. They're going to do it more towards weapons instead of magic.
Yeah.
And you'll just have...
Oh, definitely.
So it's just fire, thunder, ice, and then I assume it's going to be light?
No, the bottom one's Unicast.
Yeah, the bottom one's Unicast. When I meant 4, I was saying you have your first 3, and then you can mix the 4th one.
Yeah, but when you look at use weight mode, and it says they're weaker... good against something. There's always one on the right that says a light button.
Yeah.
What is that symbol?
Yeah, that I'm not
it looks
sure
like
about.
A light. I don't know.
Now, that's another cool thing is I actually absolutely love that they added in weight mode. It's especially because sometimes, there's some battles that can get very hectic, and it's good sometimes to have that pause happen so you can be okay. What am I doing here? What's going on? And it gives you can see, but you can actually the sphere grid with combat. There's a thing for, I think it's Ignis, where he'll, at the start of a battle, scan all the guys for you. So even in non-weight mode, you can do that.
I was thinking about getting
Isn't there a weight mode centric sphere grid?
Yeah, there is, yeah. Which is
interesting, yeah.
So, sphere grid. Talk about it.
I actually wanted to add one more thing to that.
We got to do magic, too.
But in combat, just in general, though, I do like that... if you can get behind characters, there's different things that happen. The combos between the characters that can happen with
when you parry,
link strike and parry, and you can add in the R2 button when you
L1. Those
Oh,
techniques.
Or is it L1?
Techniques.
Techniques, yeah. I really like the techniques and the fact that you can go in and customize those techniques, and they level up individually each
Yeah, well, I
technique.
noticed that usually upgrades the critical rate.
Yep.
So a
Which
lot
is
of cool stuff there. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I'd say, okay, if we're going off techniques, I'll move over into the sphere grid of what I wanted to talk about, where I'm level 15 and I need to wait, and which I like waiting, but I already have Gladio. I'm one sphere away from getting his limit break.
Do they have limit breaks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's like his AP costs 999.
Yeah.
To get the limit break, but it's like I feel like my one complaint with the sphere grid is it's not expansive at all.
Yeah, and
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
this would be my complaint too I have with it is there is an obvious wall that they've shown you where it's like, okay, this costs 72 AP, then the next one's 999.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, if you're going to have that big of a gap,
Have some minor
then
things
why
in there.
couldn't we had a couple things leading to get us further into that? Now, obviously, there is a lot of stuff to do, but there's not a ton. And there's a lot of individual different sphere grids, but and this is why I kept bringing up Final Fantasy X. If they want to do that method, every time I jump into this sphere, it makes me miss Final Fantasy X, and I know Final Fantasy X gets hate, but that sphere grid was cool. And if that's the design you wanted to do, I kind of wish they did something a little more like that. I do like that they have like the teammate, like you got combo ones for everybody. That's cool.
There's a variety of them.
Yeah.
And I think...
But there's always there's 12 max for each thing.
I am curious once we hit level, like when we start getting into the 30s and 40s and 50s. Like, I mean,
if you get more AP or something.
yeah, because and there's things like you can have it every time you go fishing, you get AP. If you drive in a car, you can get AP.
So I feel like upgrading those early is probably a smarter thing to do because then you get more AP. You can spend it more carelessly. I think with the sphere grid having the techniques, I think with the techniques leveling up, that's supposed to like alleviate some of that extra moves.
Yeah.
That's my guess. And the combo of moves, like...
It is simplifying it, which is, again, goes back to
I wonder if you can get more bars in your techniques. Cause
you can.
How do you do that, though?
I thought that was a
It's not
sphere.
It isn't.
I'm pretty sure it's
accessories.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
It might be accessories.
Yeah.
Because I have, like, I want to do this combo, but each one takes 2 slots on your techniques, and you only have 3 slots. Three. And I was like, so I can't do this combo. I wonder if you can get that later.
What I'm kind of wondering is if maybe there's some items and stuff.
Yeah, okay. So you're the farthest, and I know you can switch your attire and stuff like that. Have you been able to buy new things?
No, then I know I'm pretty sure this game doesn't do that.
Yeah.
They're not focused on that, which I'm okay with, to be honest. But
that's like I was telling him. I'm going to slaughter the name, but there's the sword that you get eventually called the Masamune or something like that.
Technical sword,
and that it jumps you from like 48 to 88 or whatever. There's a mob boss, and what I liked about this was in the game where you end up fighting him or a hunt, excuse me, and off to the side, I was just looking around. There was a little blue thing. I picked it up, and it was just a random another sword. It's like this giant fire sword.
Ooh,
it does. Yeah, it does like 138.
Yeah.
So when you could have been only doing 88. So the thing that was cool with me is I gave myself Noctis the 138, and then was able to give Masumane to Gladios. And it was like just one of those things where it was like I love the fact that just finding that one item, it's like wow, finding one increases strength for 2, and that's kind of a neat little feature.
And I couldn't use these techniques for a long time. I was like, why can't I use these techniques? Because your person has each character is minus Noctis has a second slot. So if you give Prompto a machinery, so I gave him machinery, now he can use this move where it attracts all the people into one thing. And if you give Gladios a shield, he can do the shield bash now for a technique. So I like that.
Yeah,
so
I just unlocked that.
I like the one that it saves me all the time is Ignis, because again I tend to fight hunts that are higher level than I should be, and I'll go in and I love Ignis has a thing where he rallies everyone together and heals everybody in the group.
Interesting. I bought that one, but I use the one where he gives you like either fire, thunder. Or
I always
I haven't even uploaded.
I jump between those two all the time because I'm like I really like that one, but the healing one comes in handy so much.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna move to that healing. All right, so that's combat. Any nitpicky things? I would say music is mine. I think the music is mostly forgettable. Like,
Well,
Final
Fantasy 15's music.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously. I love that when you get into the car, you can go through all these different tracks. So I usually listen to Cosmo Canyon for Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 8's like Premonition or maybe
I hope that isn't like, I feel like that is a sign that the game later on doesn't have much like scores or anything like that, but I'm hoping there's something that they like, there's big scenes that have awesome music.
I like the initial battle music. I hate the night battle music. It drives me nuts. I don't know what it is about the night battle music.
Yep. I would say this, like, you know, and again, we talked about this beforehand. You say forgettable. I would lean more towards, like, it's just relaxing. And I think because of that tends to maybe not make it.
Like the preludes of older Final Fantasy games were relaxing.
Well, yes.
The only music I like so far is the battle music. And then I want to call it the intense music when during story missions. I don't really know if that's the same battle music.
I don't know what it is. I'm a fan of, like, and maybe it's just because of the vibe I get, but like when you're in Hammerhead, I like just like there's something about that music every time I go to it. It's homey now, and that's it shows you difference.
No.
But I was gonna bring up your point. I 100% agree with you in the fact that I think because they have the soundtracks for all the other Final Fantasies, that shows you that there might not be as strong of a compositional music overall.
They just wanted
it's a cool
catering
for
to
the
fans.
fans.
It's fanfare.
I think so.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the car?
I like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I actually kind of like going for drives. It's weird. I just usually sit there and I'm like, all right.
I like it. It's.
Do you tend to drive or do you like let Ignis drive?
Usually auto.
It's fucking clunky as can be if you are driving.
It's not that clunky.
It's it's
once you understand.
I mean, the
system.
car is on rails.
Yeah. So once you understand the system, that's easy.
Yes, but I just feel like it shouldn't be. It should be smooth.
It is smooth.
It's but it's not. It's really not.
You know,
if it's on rails, it's not smooth.
You know, an odd complaint I have about it is, like, I've done it before. I've been walking out in the wilderness and we find a campfire spot, and so we go to sit down to campfire, and I'm like, where the hell did we get all these supplies? I always, like, again, you know, and I understand, you know, you got to kind of just suspend disbelief on that part of it, but I think my biggest gripe with the game, and it's just its initial gripe, because again, I like playing it, so I want to get into it, is that initial loading time to get into the game.
Yeah,
is a little crazy.
Hopefully there's an update for that.
Yeah.
Well, also, speaking of updates, like, there's apparently DLC for this game, which really confuses me.
Yeah, who was talking about that?
Ben.
Our friend Ben, and I was just like, why would
there's
that
a
DLC?
season pass for Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, that's right. They had that.
Like, does that mean there's
Story?
going to be more story, or is it just going to be?
Well, it makes me wonder if you're
going
going to end up like playing maybe some other side characters. Like, I know there's rumors that people said you're gonna start playing like, yeah, exactly. I've heard rumors that, you know, they might have one where you could play as Cindy eventually, which they'll probably just sell at Gangbusters because, you know, teenage boys are teenage boys. But the thing that I'm curious about is the multiplayer add-on that's supposedly going to add coming eventually. Like, again, it's Final Fantasy. Like, I feel like that's what the MMO side of it's for. That's what Final Fantasy 14 and 11 are for. But I'm at least curious. Like, if you add multiplayer, does that mean like me, you, and him, or just me and you could jump in? Like, you are going to be one of the other characters, and we just are running around. That could be. I mean,
if you can do hunts, like hunts would be cool doing that type of style.
Well, because I can already tell you too, this game feels like it has the vibe where there's going to be hunts in this game that are far stronger than the final boss.
Oh yeah.
And so you're going to have to. So I'm curious to see what happens.
There's that rumor that Adamantaste, I think that's the turtle usually in these games, is 72 hours.
I'm already pretty convinced that where he's at too.
Yeah, I'm just like,
I think I've seen him. He's in chapter 2.
It's like, I don't think that's true. Maybe if you tried to fight him right now.
See. I get the feeling it's more like
there's a trophy for it, so I don't.
It'll be more like a 30 or 40 hour.
What the hell is my train of
Not
thought
30 or 40 hour, but 30 or 45 minute to an hour.
Here's another nitpick: is I feel like the X button shouldn't have been the button for picking stuff up.
How many? Okay,
Square?
I love that you brought that up. How many times have you walked over to something and then your character jumps
instead of hit?
That's what I'm saying. It should have been squared.
Square, circle, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Circle sprint though. So
I sprint with L3. So
new. Oh, hey, I got to teach you a trick. I taught him a trick.
I can't do it anymore.
Okay, I'll show you. You can sprint infinitely in that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but you need to have circle. You might be able to do it with L3 maybe, but
you have to have circle.
You have. Oh, so basically you hold circle.
Did you know you can have your stamina show up?
Okay. First of all, okay, you turn.
I don't like that.
See, I turned it on because I hate because again, once I accidentally did this, I was like, I needed to do this from now on. All you do is you wait until it's almost done. Like there's about that much left. Click circle again. Your guy does this weird little flash forward and the thing fills right up again, and then you just keep going. So it's actually something they implemented in the game because there's an animation for it. It's not like some cheat.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Now I have to have my stamina bar on. Damn it. So, I mean, is there anything else? I mean, we talked about combat magic.
I said just going forward, like I feel like I've complained more about the game than you two, but I still want to keep going back and playing it.
It has its hooks in me. There's an addiction. Like, again, like the thing that I loved about Final Fantasy 12 was the hunts.
Yeah, that's my favorite, by far my favorite thing about the game so far is the hunts.
I like...
I don't think that's mine. But
Besides fishing.
I actually like... yeah, no, fishing is a lot of fun. I mean, have you...
Because you know there's special fish, right?
Well, no, have you looked... I love those glow-in-the-dark fish, though. But have you looked at the list? I think there's 100 fish in the game.
Yeah. I think those are just special ones, though. I haven't checked since I caught fish, but I feel like
I've caught in, I think it's 4 or 5 different fish, and there's 100 total.
It's a lot of fish.
And special fish was not a fucking spoiler.
I didn't say it was spoiler.
Oh, I thought you did.
But
special fish.
yeah, for me, there are times in like I actually uploaded a clip on Twitter. I don't know if you guys watched it.
No,
but I uploaded a clip on Twitter because I was just. There are times when the combat works right. I'm just awestruck at how cool and the stuff that happens and the things that can happen. And there was a particular battle I did where I was just fighting some random creatures and everything, like I timed everything perfectly. Everything worked fine. And it started off cool because Gladios came up to me. This is a random mob. And I like that they added this into it. I don't know if you guys have seen it happen yet where even before you start a fight, sometimes a character will come up to you and be like, hey, I bet you can't do that. And like, so he bet me, he's like, you got to do 16,000 points of damage in this battle. And so I just went in and started fighting, and I got it. So you got extra AP for it.
Oh yeah, they have those strategies. I think they call them.
It's cool, like get 2, link strikes or blind strikes, and there's some really cool features to that I like. But yeah, I'm waiting to kind of see if Magic does ever go forward because again,
it's definitely a game about weapons.
It is, and it would be definitely, and maybe some of it has to do with how just kind of with the audience they're trying to get. But it is definitely an interesting take with Final Fantasy to just kind of put Magic where it's at.
Yeah.
I think Magic's awesome, though.
Yeah, I was talking to my
feel powerful
buddy Doug about it because he just picked it up also, and he's just like, it's weird that Magic, because Final Fantasy is like known for Magic. Yeah. So
have you ever given the Magic to your other characters? Yeah, don't. They spam the living shit out of that. You run out of that so quickly.
Hey, can you still only get 3?
Yeah, I have 3 flasks.
I have 3 flasks, but I mean,
I feel like there's going to be 5.
There's going to be 5.
Yeah. I what was it? I got something that increased. Now I can grab more from me. I wonder if you can ever grab more than 99.
You can.
I don't know.
You think so?
I don't know.
You can.
How do you know?
I just know
because you've done it.
No, but when I was reading up on Magic, I found out that you can.
It's like I have it now.
It's not spoilers because if you do spam 99 fire, you only get fire, not fire or fire guy.
Oh, you get fire. I've done fire with just doing fire.
But was it 99?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I've done
that.
I've done 99 and it didn't transform to fire.
Yeah, I've gotten potency up to 109, I think.
So okay, well there you go. You're not 99.
Yeah, it's potency. That's not like actual.
I was meaning
inventory.
like, can you ever like get more than 99 inventory?
But that's potency. The 99 is potency.
No, the 99
is that's your equip rate. Or the amount.
Because if you upgrade your magic in the sphere grid, you can upgrade the potency levels in the sphere grid. So that when you take...
Oh, okay. So that's what I was going off of. So
I'm thinking like, can you ever hold...
Can I... Because again, I don't know about you guys. I have a minimum requirement. I need 10 of every item. So like high potions, Phoenix Downs, all those.
Dude, I used up way too much Phoenix Downs on one battle. I used them all. It was terrible.
They're expensive, dude. Like they're...
Was the behemoth?
No.
Dude, the behemoth battle? I don't know if this is it's not. Behemoth is never fucking Final Fantasy.
I haven't done it.
Yeah, you have. How have you not?
Yeah, he hasn't. You just got chapter 3.
Oh, I literally just got to chapter 3.
Okay. Well, I'm far ahead of you. You'll be able to beat it easily compared to me.
Which shows you how I'm stupidly over leveled, which I need to sometimes slow it down because the story content gets a little easy sometimes.
That's fine though.
That's what everyone does.
The soldiers, like they're all like level 18. They get drops down all the time. For a while, that's tough.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's
They're
terrible when they start shooting you.
They're level 6.
So yeah, I think that was a pretty good in-depth.
Yeah.
What I would say, it is a good game. It might be a great game. I have to 12 hours in, 13 hours in.
It's not enough for Final Fantasy. It's not.
Yeah, I agree. And the people are saying it's short, but every Final Fantasy it can be short if you just go straight.
Again, if you play the storyline, to me, and this is why I think this game caters to me a smidge more in areas, is like the completionist in me is going to want to complete every single freaking hunt.
It's like Assassin's Creed or Far Cry. In that
but
aspect.
I will agree that I am missing some of the core Final Fantasy stuff, but I think there's still some characters that I know we're going to eventually meet that I'm curious how that dynamic's going to work. Eventually.
Yeah, and I have a feeling we've already seen like 5 characters. I'm like, okay, this seems a little more Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
now.
there was a chapter.
Especially the guy with the coin. I was like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, I like him.
I can't say this on the thing. Damn. I'll
All
say
right,
it's
so
Austria.
yeah, are you guys in the consensus that it's a good game? Might be a great game.
It's a good game that I'm hoping becomes a great game. I think it has the potential. It's
already, in some instances, I think it's great. It's just a couple more that I need to see if it.
What I'm most excited about and what I love about Final Fantasy games is just when I just feel like you are going to be just unstoppable eventually.
Yes.
That's my favorite. Like,
I just want a couple of those moments where I sit back and I'm like, I want some amazing CGs. Like that's what I always like. Well, and I know that's gonna happen. I know that's happening eventually.
I know.
It's the.
Well, I thought even it was in chapter 2. There's some stuff I was like, "Ooh, this is cool."
Yeah,
there's some big creature thing. I was like, "What is that thing?"
I do like.
yes, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I know there's that in the trailer of the Titan like running towards people.
Yeah.
I was like, that guy just looks so cool.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about
Yeah.
Attack on Titan.
Yep.
So that's our in-depth look. Some hodgepodge of thoughts. I don't know really how that went. But until next time, we are 3 Brothers.